My son, you know the world keeps strange stories. Stories that don't make it into the newspapers, but stay alive in the memories of those who witnessed them up close. And today, I'm going to tell you one of those stories. Many years ago, when I was young and adventurous, I traveled to Mexico, and one afternoon, in the quiet canals of Xochimilco, I heard a boatman mention a forbidden place, a place they didn't recommend visiting at night. They called it La Isla de las Muñecas, the island of the dolls. They said that when the boat passed nearby, the air grew cold, and you could feel as if many eyes were watching you. I laughed back then, thinking it was exaggerated. But that boatman, with a serious face, placed his hand on my shoulder and said, "If you hear the dolls calling, don't answer." Those words stuck in my head, and that was how I began to investigate, until I discovered who lived there. A simple man named Don Julian Santana, and his story, my son, is one of the most unsettling I've ever heard. Sit here, son, because now the story gets heavier. Don Julian decided to live alone on the island in the 1,950 seconds. He wanted peace, nature, silence. But as they say over there, the island doesn't always give you what you're looking for. One night, Julian heard screams coming from the water. He ran to the edge of the canal and found a girl, floating, already lifeless. He tried, but he couldn't save her. Days later, while walking along the canal, he saw something caught in the branches. A doll, an old doll with one eye missing, and clothes torn by the water. Julian believed that doll belonged to the girl, and that she was trapped there, trying to say something. That night, he said he heard small footsteps across the island. Then, soft giggles and toys moving by themselves. No one believed him, but Julian felt true fear, so he tied the doll to a tree as a way of honoring the girl. But, my son, the silence did not return. On the contrary, he said the doll changed positions, that it turned its head when the wind stopped, and that at night, he saw a small shadow walking between the trunks. That's how it began, and Julian made a strange decision. If one doll didn't calm this girl's spirit, maybe 100 will. Over time, Julian began collecting dolls from everywhere. Broken dolls, burned dolls, dolls pulled from the trash. He traded food for old dolls, even if they were missing pieces. And each doll was hung on a different tree. What was once an ordinary island began to look like a toy cemetery. Fishermen avoided passing near it. They claimed to hear whispers, said the dolls moved their hands, that they blinked. Even from far away, the dolls stared at you with glass eyes, still, as if judging your presence. And listen, when I was there, I can confirm, the feeling of being watched is real. It's strong. It's uncomfortable. People began spreading stories. The dolls come alive at night. They protect the island. If you take a doll from there, it will come back for you. One tourist swore he heard a girl crying behind him. Another said a doll fell from a branch on its own, with no wind at all. Some people saw shadows darting between the trees. And Julian? He didn't stop. He said, the girl, sometimes, pulled on his clothes or spoke to him while he slept. So he began building what he called a sanctuary for her peace. But, my son, no one knew that his destiny would be the same as hers. One day, already elderly, Julian was talking with his nephew, and he said something disturbing. "She's calling me. The girl is calling me again." Hours later, he disappeared. They went looking for him and found Julian floating in the canal, in the exact same place where he said he had found the girl, decades earlier. When this story spread, son, The legend only grew stronger. Today, thousands of people visit the island of the dolls, but few manage to stay for long. The boatmen say that when you approach it, the air becomes heavy. They say the dolls whisper. They say some slowly turn their heads when someone tries to take a picture. And there's a warning that all the boatmen repeat. If you hear your name, look down, never to the sides. And now, my son, the grandfather takes a deep breath, a pause. That's why, when I passed by that place, I didn't answer. Even when I could swear I heard a tiny voice calling, "Grandpa, Grandpa." Maybe it was the wind. Maybe it was my imagination. Or maybe the girl never truly rested. Now close your eyes, my son, and sleep peacefully. If any doll looks at you tonight, don't look back.